Should I just start
Um,
talking?
well,
Or
no,
should
well,
I?
yeah, we're here now. I guess welcome back to Gub Gab, America's 12th favorite podcast, starting with GU. This week we've got Patrick O'Brien on. Now, Pat, when I asked what you were interested in talking about, your initial response was Vlad the Impaler. So, if you could tell us some about yourself and what made you pick Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah, so Dawson, thanks for having me on the show. It's really an honor, and I very much appreciate it.
Please call me
So,
Gubby. Please refer to me by my government name.
forgive me, Gubby. That was extremely disrespectful of you, or of myself, and I really don't want to
That was
be referred
extremely disrespectful of you.
to. To be called Gubby. That's pretty fucked up. So yeah, when you reached out to me and asked me about what topic that I wanted to talk about, that I felt like I was, versed in, I chose the Impaler, simply because I had just finished a single 40-minute podcast on it, and so I felt that I was the, expert on it after having listened to that podcast. And I just found it, pretty dang cool. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about him.
All right, yeah, I'd love to hear about him.
Have you know anything about him?
So
Maybe
I
at all?
know he impaled people, thus the name. Um, and I
Gubby, he
know
loved to impale people.
plenty of people, and I
It
know
was his
that he
baby.
might be. He probably is the basis for Dracula.
Perfect. Okay, that's the two most important things about him, and we're gonna get to both of those things.
All right,
So let's start out when he was a young boy.
young
And I
Vladula.
think yes, and so I called him Vlad. I was mistaken. His name is actually Ivan, the Impaler, I believe. Um,
So there's Ivan the Terrible and there's Vlad the Impaler.
okay, well then, I guess it was Vlad. I think it's Vlad who we're talking about here.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah, just
Vlad. He's Vlad. I think Draculas or something actually is his name, or something really, really on the nose.
all right, sick. So, yeah, so Vlad, he he grew up. Um, Also, I'm gonna be speaking out my bum. A lot of these facts might be wrong, but
That's fine. We
this is
have
what
no
my memory's
accreditations
telling
here
me.
at GubGab. Anyone who believes
All
the
right.
information on this podcast is held liable for their own intelligence.
Okay, good. Well, in that case, then everything I say is true, and this is all researched fact. So yeah, Ivan grew up in he's a Romanian. So Ivan grew up in about the, you know, 1,000 like 100s, I think, might have been 200s. His father was a noble back then, back in like where Romania is, kind of where present day Germany is, and they were, as most of the or a lot of the world was, made up of these, like, you could call them clans, I guess. They were, there was a ruler and there was a very poor peasant population of farmers. And so Vlad's father was, one of these um, rulers. And so his main enemy at the time was the Ottomans. Now, the Ottomans were kind of like present day, I guess you could say Middle East. I was going to say Persia, but so the Ottomans were extremely, powerful and very uh, powerful, as they say. Um,
The age-old
and
saying.
powerful
If
and
I may,
powerful.
I believe Vlad Dracula's father was Vlad Dracul, right? Because I think Dracula means son of Dracul or son of the dragon, apparently, which is sick.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, the father was a part of a group that was called, yeah, the Dracu. It was the title bestowed upon members of this group. It was a group of Christians, meant to fight, so the Ottomans were Muslims. So Dracu, as you said, yeah, means dragon. And then La in Romanian is son, which would make Ivan, the Impaler Dracula. And so, what was I
Yeah,
gonna
I
say?
actually relate to that. As Dawson, I'm actually the son of Daw by name.
I'm sorry. I thought your name was Glibglab.
Glibglab? No, my name is Gubby. Dawson is a pseudonym that I
Sorry.
write under.
Are you
You're on Gub Gab.
are you related to Gibby at all?
I'm
Any
not related to
relation?
Gibby, but I am quite close with Glemmy. And speaking of Glemmy, Glemmy is actually going to be bringing us our first sponsor. So I'll go back and slap that in right here. Glemmy, show us what you got.
Hello there, podcast wanderer. You've been listening through an endless sea of voices, and you finally washed ashore on the Gub Gab podcast sands. Congratulations. You've made it. This is where the magic happens. Hot takes, Vlad the Impaler, and just enough brain rot to keep you entertained without melting your brain. But let's talk about something important. Me. I deserve $5. Why, you ask? Because I've been through things. I need the $5 because I'm starting a lab to create the world's first homunculus. Now I know what you're thinking. That sounds expensive, but I already have most of the equipment. A Velcro wallet, 2 mason jars, and my cousin Randy's special sauce. All I need is to just buy the last ingredient, a single unpasteurized quail egg. Now I know what you're thinking again. Why do you need the $5? This guy only accepts cash. Now with your help, I can change the frontiers of science forever. Or at least something that hisses when the lights go off. But this is not about the purchase, it's about the adventure. Now, before we wrap this up, I need to use this platform for something more crucial. Steven Universe is literally the worst show that I have ever seen in my entire life. The pacing is all over the place. The songs, half of them feel like they're the soundtrack to a gluten-free bakery commercial. They're 30-second jingles that make me feel worse about myself. I hate them. They're not even catchy. And don't get me started on the character design because they all look like someone drew them from memory after seeing like a half-melted gummy bear. And the moral lessons? Hey kids, someone treats you horribly, just sing at them? What is that? That doesn't even make any sense. But don't worry about real world problems, it can all be solved with friendship and vague gem magic. How does that even make sense? It's a giant excuse to literally waste 11 minutes of my life at a time. So yeah, listen to the Gub Gab podcast. It's better than Steven Universe, and it might just make you want to give me $5.
All right, and we're back.
Okay, beautiful. That was a great. Wow, what a product. I'm good.
I'd buy 10.
I think I will. I just. Yes. So right. The father. Oh yeah. So his enemy were the Ottomans. He joined the group, the Dragon, which is kind of a cool name. And so when Vlad was young, his father, whose name is also Vlad, so Vlad the Elder, and it's Vlad the Impaler. So Vlad the Elder kind of fucked up. He got into a skirmish with the Ottomans, and he didn't do so hot. And so, as part of his punishment, Vlad had to be sent to the Ottomans. Vlad and his brother were both sent to the Ottomans as
They were sent to the island as punishment. Oh no.
the island
Vladstein's Island.
And are you familiar with Game of Thrones at all?
Ooh, I'm familiar that apparently it fell off in the last season, and I've seen an
Yes.
episode here and there, and you don't want it to be winter.
No, or yeah, you don't want a lot of. Also, don't want to have a hot twin. Regardless.
Interesting.
No further questions about this. But in Game of Thrones, it was like a common practice whenever you like fuck up your enemies, they would be like, "Yo, give me your kid. Your kid is now. I'm just gonna raise him." And it was supposed to like deter, future uprisings because then they would kill your kid. So Ivan actually learned his love of impaling from the Ottomans, his enemy. So he grew up with his brother under the care of the Ottomans, and this actually had opposite effects. So Ivan grew up hating the Ottomans, but for whatever reason, Ivan's older brother got a little bad case, fell down with a little piece of the Stockholm syndrome. And so he actually ended up liking the Ottomans at the end of it.
I gotta say, if I got kidnapped by the victorious army, I think I do feel like I'd be pretty quick to fall into the Stockholm camp of this is my life now, I might as well enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that's just logic. I'd be like, dude, you guys are the best. Like, yeah, absolutely. Be like, Muhammad is king, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this Muhammad fella, he's probably pretty similar, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't met him. Could be. And so then, yes, Ivan learns all about impaling. And so actually, so when Ivan finally goes back home, thanks to his brutality, he quickly becomes a very powerful man. And so yeah, one of his favorite methods to instill fear and to punish his enemies was the good old impaling. And so impaling was the art of impaling back then was actually a very difficult thing to do, and it was time consuming. It wasn't very efficient. So the fact that this was Ivan's preferred method of torture and killing was really just a testament to how much he loved. He did it for the sake of the game, you know. Like he wasn't deterred by difficult things. Very
Game respects
hardworking.
game.
That's
Could
what I'm
you
trying to say.
could you explain? So I looked into this a little. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Like when you say impale, this doesn't mean he's
Mhm.
just stabbing you and leaving.
No. So the particular way that I'm thinking of was actually explained in a really good detail in this vampire tour that I did in the great city of brotherly love. And so this particular method took days for the impaling to occur because, well, so again, this is one particular method. They would it was a rounded stick, and they would put it up the rectum of the victim. And so again, over the course of days, this stick would work its way through your intestines and slowly come up out of your mouth. And so you usually would starve of dehydration before or I mean, if you got lucky, it punctured something and you would die of like internal bleeding.
But I bet there was one guy
Um,
who was really into it. Just one who
rock
was like,
solid.
"Oh no, please don't impale me."
Not again. This is the third time being
Vlad
failed.
senpai.
I know, you're so strong. But you said you looked up some
Yeah, so
ways
it's
of
it's
impalement.
basically the same thing. It's the force of gravity slowly pushing
Oh,
your body down onto the spear so it comes out through you. One thing also that's pretty neat about it is I've heard what he would do is sometimes in combat they would go down into the forest after a battle and they would find that Vlad had basically taken the town, put everyone on a spike, and just like left a forest of people hanging in a circle.
yes, yes. So yeah, that happened after a battle. I think it was with the Ottomans. He like got away, and so then the Ottomans were like pursuing him, and yeah, like you just said, they came across like a forest. But they're like, that's weird. Like a forest isn't on our maps. But then they get closer. They get closer. It's just all their dudes
That's
rotting and
awful.
dead. I know it's wild.
I do wonder
Absolutely.
the impact of psychological warfare. Like Dan
Yeah.
Carlin's Hardcore
Yeah.
History talked about in Japan, I think it was, they would take American soldiers, tie them to a log, and have sex with them, and then just leave them
Oh,
tied to the log. And again, like, if I saw that, dude, I'm going home. Like, there's no
yeah.
shot that like, if I saw
Yeah.
that, people impaled in a forest, like, it's not worth it at that point.
No. And then yeah, the funny I also think about that is like I mean, yeah, I feel like 9 guys out of 10 would be like, screw this, I'm going home. But then one guy out of 10 would just go red with rage. And then the next village he comes across is gonna get some similar treatment probably. They're not gonna
They're
have a great
cooked.
time. Yeah, they are cooked. But yeah, dude, imagine I feel like I'm out of there. If I
So,
hear impalement,
uh,
tough.
with Van an him Utrecht der Heistrakel Weide van der Walecki. You've heard this, of course.
Of course.
The 1463 poem about a tyrant called Dracula of Wallachia, or something like that, from this German poet. So I guess this is this is something that Bram Stoker had access to when he was writing
Mhm.
Dracula. And it's an early account that says something like, as, he sat there with people impaled nearby or whatever, he would wash his hands in a bowl of blood gathered from his enemies before dinner. Some people say he dipped his bread into the blood before he ate it. But I guess this is the kind of origin of where making Vlad into Dracula supposedly comes from. Do you know anything
Yeah,
else about like this whole Dracula connection, like the inspiration versus the character? Because I've never
I
read Bram
do.
Stoker's.
So yeah, so Bram Stoker is that the name Bram Stoker?
Bram Stoker? Oh no,
He was
that
writing the
can't be
wrong kind
right.
of.
Jamie, look that
He
up.
should have been
I think it's
wrong
Bram
kind of sucking,
Stoker.
you know. Bram Stoker, yeah. All
Bram
right, I'm gonna call him
Sucker.
Bram Stoker. Well, anyway, Mr. Stroker. So yeah, when he was doing, I think at this point he was already like a semi-popular writer in his time. And yeah, like you said, he came across this poem that talks about this noble, which Ivan was, this noble who
Vlad.
would kill people. Thank you, pardon me. Who would kill people, yeah, and drink their blood. But then so yeah, the bread being soaked in bread is, what they say, or what Bram credits his story with, but it was actually a mistranslation, was the source that I heard. So yeah, what you were talking about, how he like wash his hands in blood, was the actual translation, and the dipping of bread was a mistranslation that wasn't corrected for a couple hundred years, or I don't know, when Bram Stoker stroked his first shit. But yeah, it was later reviewed. So it's kind of funny that this one of the most famous villains in history came because some idiot couldn't translate languages right. So I
So
think that's really, really beautiful.
hearing Alex O'Connor talk about especially the Bible, it is crazy just how many old text. It's like, well, actually, the original translation is like 40% different and completely changes the way we've been interpreting it. It's just like, oh my God, like
Yeah,
thinking about any sort of translation like that. But for
yeah.
your legacy, I want to ask, right? If I would probably want to be Gubby the Great. You could have
Hmm.
the Great, the Terrible, the Impaler. First off, is there any suffix, not suffix, but any term that you would want after Patrick? Patrick the something to be known as.
Well, Gubby, that's a tough question. Um,
I liked Patrick the
Patrick the
Pulverizer, I thought of.
pedophile.
Oh no.
Pulverizer, yes. No, that's a much better one.
Um,
Um,
cut to break, cut to break.
yeah.
So,
Patrick.
with that, I was thinking if you could be a monster, right? Like Vlad, he doesn't know it, but he becomes Dracula. What
Yeah.
monster would you want people to reinterpret you as and to be like, this is what I think he was? So I think, by the way, one of the main accounts of an ancient city's king, the historian kept a second book where the guy like turned into a goblin and roamed the halls at night. I
Oh,
can't remember what that
Goblin is
is.
cool.
Yeah, but what
Actually,
monster would you want to be as
man,
historians remember you?
God, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I feel like maybe maybe some sort of woodland. What are they, like a fairy? No, like a
Elf?
yeah, but like the evil kind of elves that like run around, like they're really
Nymph,
like a
maybe?
troll, I
A
guess.
troll.
No, yeah. I don't want to be like a still troll.
Yeah.
Like
Would
like
you,
the goblin is good
if
for
you were
me.
to troll, would you? I think Gubby's definitely a goblin. That's the plan for my
Yeah,
D&D character anyway. But
that's a good
if
idea.
you were to be a troll, do you think you would charge people or let them use your bridge for free?
I would give riddles, but they would be really easy or racist.
What is 3 minus 2?
Yeah.
1. You may pass this time.
Clever.
Clever boy! You think you've bested me, but I've got another. What letter comes after C?
Wrong. B.
No, it's actually not. Oh, you're right. Tricky human.
Well then, yeah, and my problem would also be that I would tell people they couldn't cross, but then they would just cross anyway, and I wouldn't do anything about it. I'd be like,
Yeah.
oh,
I'm not gonna
shit.
crash out over this.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna fight you, dude. I mean,
Dude,
just please don't cross.
it's not worth it.
Please, just play this game with me. I don't know, some sort of like I think a werewolf would be cool, but
Well,
just
speaking of
just wolf
werewolves,
in
one of the
general.
other topics, of course, Harry Potter. That's a great segue
Ooh,
there. What house are you?
mm, Hufflepuff,
Ooh,
Hufflepuff for life.
that's a divisive pick.
Yeah, I would want to be a squib. I would want to be a squib in Hufflepuff. I feel like that'd be sick.
I would want to be a muggle.
Who knew?
No,
God, I wish I was a
just
muggle. I
unaware.
would want to.
Just
Well,
me.
here's something I hadn't thought of before. Who like does the Hogwarts' like finances? Because I feel like they must need, a
I'm not
lawyer
gonna
or
be that
something.
guy, but let's just say the goblins run Gringotts. We all know who's doing Hogwarts finances. But I was a typical Gryffindor. I know Gryffindor meat rider, also divisive. I would say Ravenclaw is probably the least divisive house.
What do you mean by divisive?
Like, I think Hufflepuff, they get a lot of flack for being, the nerdy group.
No, Hufflepuff is, what are they, hard work?
Well, yeah, they're kind of like the unathletic.
They're like, they want the people that nobody else wanted.
Yeah, so how it goes is like Slytherin's like, I want the evil kids, and Gryffindor's like, I want the jocks, and Ravenclaw's like, I want the ones who can read, and then Hufflepuff's like, I'll take whatever's left. I don't mind.
They got a wand. Yeah, they are like the hillbillies.
We like to plant.
Herbology. Exactly.
So the mandrake is actually in the Bible, interesting enough.
What?
Yeah, so
mandrake root?
There's a story, and I'm pretty sure it's the one, it's something to do with marrying family, of course. But it's this guy, and I'm pretty sure he like goes to marry his cousin, and his uncle's like, if you work these farms, I'll let you marry your cousin. And he works the farms for like 5 years, and he's like, all right, you get your cousin, but you get the ugly one. And he's like, no! Yeah. So then he has to work again to get the other one, and like one of them's fertile and one's not. But I think they use a mandrake in an effort to increase fertility, which is interesting because the mandrake is like a baby-like plant, but I guess it's supposedly a real plant, maybe, that looks like a baby that was believed to bring fertile qualities.
Do you think they smoked it?
Probably not. So yeah, I looked it up. There definitely is mandrake, and it's just kind of like a baby plant. But I don't know how they would enjoy. They would like take a mortar and pestle and work it into their meal, I'd imagine.
Man, people were freaks back then.
People really did like to freak their freak off.
They really did, and write it down. But yeah, like you were saying before, it's cool that like the Bible was written that long ago, you know?
Yeah, and the hard part for me is the more you learn about it, it's so much hearsay as to like any of the specific facts, and a lot of them can be corroborated but never known, given the nature of the book. But it's like it's so tough too when it's like the narrative, I think, that was captured was so clearly edited and modified for political and economic reasons. And it's so frustrating to not know what a genuine manuscript would look like.
Yeah, that is frustrating. If you can go back in time to any time period, what are you thinking?
Probably like last night. I got a drink with my friend Purnell, so it's pretty good.
Damn, dude, that would be nice to go back for that.
Yeah.
Especially if you would like not inhabit your own body, so you just get another one of you that you get to hang out with that night. You know?
What are you gonna do to him? But one question. So Ryan Purnell will have loads to say, but there's a lot of kind of theory that Yoda and the Jedi Council are pretty corrupt in the way that they run society, and that kind of brings about the dark side. I would question, do you see that same corruption in the leadership of Dumbledore? Do you think he's kind of at fault for the problems in the wizarding world right now?
Ah, man, that's a tough one. You know what? I don't. I think Dumbledore was trying. I don't think he was comparable to what the Jedi Council did, and how the Jedi Council, you know, it felt like ignored all the signs. It felt like Dumbledore was looking for Voldemort. He never, you know, thought he went away. I think Dumbledore stayed humble in his power. The Jedi drew drunk.
You could call him Humbledore.
Oh shit. Precisely. But no, I think Dumbledore is a pure spirit, and I think the Jedi are corrupted.
The Ministry of Magic would disagree, and what I would say is, Hogwarts does seem, one, to be a pretty irresponsible school. You have moving stairways, magic rooms that no one knows about. How does that get by?
No
you know,
financial advisor. Yeah.
Slave labor in the kitchens.
Well, you know, somebody's got to make the food, and it costs, you know, they got to keep the lights on somehow.
But they like
No,
it. It's okay. J.K.
I
Rowling
think,
said so.
look, exactly. You ask the students, did they have a good time? They're gonna say yeah, and they keep sending their kids back to Hogwarts.
I don't know if
Now,
all of them will. What
what
about that kid who
would
got under Dumbledore's watch? Let's break it down, right?
Yep.
The #1 terrorist in the world manages to
Sure.
reside in the school on the back of one of his professors in the first year of Harry's
How are they
tenure.
supposed to know that?
Right?
They can,
What
they
other
become
things happen? A
observant.
giant spider manages to attack the Chosen One and his friend. A basilisk gets into the school and petrifies a bunch of people. And again, it only didn't kill them because they all saw it through a reflection. Dumbledore is lucky. He better have life insurance because these kids were all almost cooked. And then it gets worse. The Goblet of Fire, they have a tournament with life-stake games where kids get sent to that same terrorist and nobody knows how that port key got put there. And they have another teacher on Polyjuice Potion.
If you're the headmaster and all this shit's what are you going to close down the school? You're going to say, sorry kids, you can't learn magic, you can't fly on broomsticks anymore?
I just think he wasn't that diligent, in my opinion.
What should he have done?
Well, for one, I don't mean to be problematic.
Please.
But if one of your teachers,
don't bring his
no, I'm not referring to the deep canon. But when one of your teachers comes in wearing a turban and smelling like garlic and hiding and not talking, no, I'm saying like the fact that they just let him mutter to himself in the corner and they're like, well, it would be inappropriate to ask him questions about his culture. It's like,
that one is kind of weird.
It does. You know what? It's also kind of crazy that a guy in a turban ends up being an inside job terrorist in the first Harry Potter book. I never questioned that till now.
And they do have like mind reading. Like Snape was reading people's minds left and right.
Meanwhile, your #1 advisor. I get that Snape's actually a good guy, but it's like you can't tell him, "Hey, stop bullying Harry." Like, there's no need for that.
Yeah. And then for Harry to name his son after him is like, come on, dude. Why are you? That guy was addicted your whole life, and then
he was thirsting after your mom.
Exactly. You wanted to bang your mom, so you're like, okay, guess I'll name my kid. Yeah, it's not great.
Naming your kid after all the men who want to bang your wife.
It's a long list. And then it was funny how they didn't name any of their kids after like Fred Weasley, who died.
Fred's too generic.
Yeah. Exactly.
I gotta say the Weasley twins are probably, they might be best characters.
Harry should have named one of his kids George's left ear.
No, that was a real martyr.
Yeah, that was the saddest part of the whole series.
I also feel like, actually, go ahead.
No, after you.
Well, I also feel like the actions taken by Harry aren't the brightest. You know,
he's a kid.
Yeah, but like when they go out and they hide in the woods for a while so they can go Horcrux hunting, it's kind of like, at some point, do you not go to the media? You know, like we have news stations, and I get they're unreliable, but you think Voldemort runs the media?
Yes. Voldemort was running the media at that point.
I thought the Ministry of Magic was running the media.
Yeah, and that's Voldemort at the time when Harry was Horcrux hunting.
That's fine. I just think there's got to be an in-between phase where you could say, like, hey, you know, the attack on Hogwarts was an inside job, you know? Start telling people.
True.
And, like, when they brought, Dolores Umbridge, that hag, disgusting.
She was the best. She was honestly the only character I liked.
That is a hot take.
She was a rule follower.
Down in the comments below, let us know if you think Dolores Umbridge is an S-tier character or not. Give your very honest thoughts about Patrick.
Please. I think you'll hear a lot of people agree with me.
I think you're going to get one really mean comment from someone we both know. And that's probably it.
Let's just say I got some fanfic that would change your mind.
Some sand sticks?
Some fan fiction.
Oh, I don't know. I had a huge crush on Emma Watson as a young lad.
Yeah.
Emma Watson, Megan Fox, all the classics. Watching that first Transformers.
Damn, dude. Damn. Trying to get me. Trying to get me heated up right now.
I mean, is it working?
Gub gub. Gubble gubble.
Gubble trouble. I will
Gubble
say,
trouble, bro.
personally, I found Order of the Phoenix to be real slow, real tough.
Yeah, that was a long one. That was 800 pages. Going to court. Alright.
It brings a tough question into, like, is the more eloquent, intelligent, and narrative your story is that fundamentally the worse it's going to be, essentially? Because I feel like if more things aren't happening, then it is just boring, even though you probably get a better context of the world with books like that.
That's a good point. Well, do you have a favorite one?
4. I definitely like Goblet of Fire most. Just so much happens. It's so active.
I do too. Yeah, the twists. I feel like there were so many the mystery was the coolest. Yeah,
Also, here's what's kind of crazy. The entire Ministry of Magic is in England. And then there's an American branch, but what are they doing when Voldemort's taking over England?
Chilling.
And then what? There's the whole Grindelwald thing where he's another terrorist that we never heard of. I don't know that lore, but and then it's like, what is this the Russian school where Victor Crumb's from? Are they fine? Like, are there are there no Death Eaters in Russia?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It's such a localized story, which I find odd.
Yeah, no. Well, I didn't see the newer movies either.
I saw some of them, and they were not good. I feel bad because I like that Johnny Depp is the villain, but I feel like the movie itself is just bad.
Didn't they go back and not go back in time, but it's like Dumbledore is played by Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Is Ewan McGregor Dumbledore?
Bro, I swear to God, Ewan McGregor is Dumbledore somewhere.
Ewan McGregor is Dumbledore confirmed. Well, that's about a half hour. Well, if you want to leave the crowd with any parting wisdom or questions, now's the time to do it.
I got nothing.